Hello everybody, and welcome back to Province Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. We have another request for an ultimate scenario today. We've been doing a few of those lately. Ultimate bioweapon and so on. Well, GD Mitch is back with the ultimate Shadow Plague, if I can find that on my list. There it is. And it's usually pretty well rebalanced from the base scenario. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what he has for us today. Thanks to Indigo Phoenix, Mushy/Theoxys, and Michael the Reaper. I really like that people have started to coordinating and networking in the Steam Community Workshop and such. That's really cool to me. Great peeps, checking amazing scenarios. Absolutely they do. So, let's see. Powerful mutagen, dawns some humanity, creates pawns out of victims, lots of flavor text. I'm sure it's really, really good, but for the sake of time, we're going to have to look through most of this, just kind of skimming, seeing if there's anything important. Custom traits, government actions, combos, events, over 70 plus custom traits, I think. Again. Praise Provis. Again and again, praise Provis. Harvester, Budget Bat, Aquasac, Human File, Witch Doctor seem perfectly fine. Normal difficulty, it is called SG68-OTG by default. Pawn of the Devil. Ooh. Secretive pores and a twisted mind allow the vampire to be manipulated by the devil and do acts of righteous anger upon others. Your slaves will fall and praise you. Your gift and return to them is mental anguish and crippling depression. I'm not very good at returning the favor, am I? Use them at will. Unusual evolution. You'll notice compared to my other scenarios in the Ultimate series are different in the sense that the abilities aren't what? Gene synthesis and or expression, etc. This is since the Shadow Plague requires a lot of traits and work. Enjoy. Okay. Had a little trouble following that sentence, but I'll go with it. A vampire rises in Greenland, the last place you'd ever expect. No transmissions. We do have the Shadow Blessing. This is pretty standard in symptoms. Vampire abilities. We start with Sacrilege's Twist. Sacrilege's Twist? Alright. Genetic activation / restoration of the amygdala causes vampire to rise and regenerate fight or flight response. Causes undue aggression and savagery. Is this the typical healing ability? I don't know for sure. We have Bloodthirst. Vampire feeds by drinking the blood from his victims whilst they are still alive, eventually sucking them dry. That feels like it could also be the healing thing. I'm not too sure. Ashma's Wrath? I don't know what... Okay, vampire channels its inner demon to bestow the gift of rage, fury, and wrath, able to attack things deemed as corrupt to vampires, such as military facilities. I assume this still generates the DNA, so I do want to get that. Anthroposophist? Readings. We're using words that I don't quite recognize. I recognize some of the Latin roots, but I'm trying to remember their definition. Vampire learns how to create a spiritual world internally, allowing it to attack it at will if it is not attacked. Taking souls from others. Heals off blood rage. Okay, so now we've confirmed that that's the healing. So what are these? We have Zoanthropic Therianthropy. Delusions give vampire the ability to temporarily mutate into a vast winged bat-like creature. So this is our bat travel, and we definitely need to pick that up ASAP. Stalkative Anesthesia. Anesthesia, huh? Fumigated analgesics are released from vampire. Anxious or suspicious victims suffer mental block and lack of autonomic reflexes, making them easier to kill. And finally, Spectral Watch. Vampire releases corrupted souls out of its openings, establishing a lair. Out of its openings. Are we talking about my pores again? This is like the worst case of vampire acne I've ever heard. These will hunt other corrupted souls in exchange for DNA points and health. So this appears to be lairs, which is good, but not what I need at the moment. Aerofin Elephantiasis? You mean elephantitis? Blockage of lymph flow causes lymphedema. Combined with generalized edema of lymph nodes, slightly increases bat muscle mass and travel speed. My brain is betraying me today. Periodic aura. If a lair is situated, the vampire will release a spectral in its place. The vampire can rejoin with the last ghoul regardless of time and distance. So that sounds like the teleportation option. Let's go for Stalkative Anesthesia. And, whoa, this button looks different. I assume this is the harvest, though. Does it generate DNA? It does. Good. Your vampire can change the... Well, yes, basic pop-ups don't need to know about this. So we're murdering the population of Greenland because it's the sort of thing that we do. As long as we leave ourselves enough DNA to travel around, we'll be fine. I'd like to get ketogenic filtration It's kind of like that keto coffee, you know, it's just so good for your body, burns the fat right away. Ketone bodies break down fatty acids in vampire, increasing speed and stealth and energy of the vampire. The vampire is more seductive. Blood rage becomes more powerful. We've attracted attention in Greenland. It may honestly not matter. Let's go ahead and pick this up so we are even more effective. I want to murder the population of Greenland before they fight back too much. Looks like we're almost there. Your vampire is weak and vulnerable. Yes, yes, I know. Fine with that. Don't remind me how weak I am. It just makes me feel insecure. Belial Ascension. Vampire opens a portal to the underworld, destroying the gap between spiritual suffering. There's just some of these sentences I'm struggling to understand. Destroying the gap between spiritual suffering? What is the gap between spiritual suffering supposed to mean? Can channel the devil himself for devastating power. Now that I understand. Blood rage, again, more powerful. They've tracked me in Greenland. No! Don't fight back. Just let me kill all of you. Good, they're dead. The vampire is starving in Greenland. Not for long. Travel from Greenland to Iceland. Let's also go for the Belial Ascension. Yay! Now I can devour some more people. Let's devour the population of Iceland for a little bit, shall we? This is a much more populous. So we can lead to Satanic Atonement. Vampire bonds with Samael, not Samuel, Samael, the Archangel of Death. Vampire becomes a demonic destroyer of all vital force in its path. Blood rage, undescribably powerful. I mean, you can certainly try, but I'll take your word for it. Do we want to have more travel speed and stuff? Kinda. We don't really need the lair tech yet. I don't want to go for Shadow Blessing too early on. The only question is, do I want to follow my standard, like, broken strategy for the Shadow Blade to get a guaranteed 3 stars by sitting around for 20 minutes and devouring people? It's not a very fun way to play the game, but it can be done. Templar Industries have revealed the global vampire threat. Yeah. And they are activating their military protocols. Now is the time to go and hunt them down. Aerofin elephantiasis will go for that. That leads to aerodynamic mutation. Mutation of adrenal cortex and limbic systems causes the vampire to rapidly fly, even with the absence of aerofoils. Increases bat travel speed and flight range. And we have laryngeal echolocation. Increased neural capacity of the auditory cortex, basilar membrane, and cochlea. Cochlea? I don't remember how that one's pronounced. Increases echo-informative processing. Increases the bat flight range, but not speed necessarily, which means I don't really care. Let's go for the lair tech, just so I have the ability to get around a little bit faster as time requires. And let's get over to... I can't quite get to Finland, but I do want to destroy some of these Templar before they get too much stronger. So let's go ahead and blow them up. Going for the indescribably powerful Blood Rage does sound pretty good to me, but let's see. Let's go for the readings for the healing in case I need it, because we are fighting now. Let's destroy this one. Can't really see the Templar base, but I'm assuming I'm destroying it effectively. Yep, they've been destroyed. Let's heal for a little bit. There we go. Need to get some more DNA, and I want to go for the indescribably powerful Atonement. 43 DNA? That's a lot of DNA. That's fine. I'll just sit here and devour the people of Spain for a little bit. I like tapas. Do you like tapas? Tapas are really good. That's one of the only Spanish-type foods I can think of off the top of my head. Spanish rice? I don't know. Satanic Atonement, boom. We now have indescribably powerful blood rages. So we're going to travel down to Morocco and devour them next. So they're going to die. That leaves one over here in Sudan and one in Indonesia. So we'll go and destroy this next. We should consider placing down some layers soon, just so I will be able to get around again pretty quickly. Don't necessarily want one here in Africa, but I guess it's not the worst location. All right, let's go ahead and place down a layer right over here. There we go. Okay, we create a layer in Sudan. The Templar are, of course, going to try to destroy it soon-ish. Templar, prepare drones to target the Vampire Labs. Shocker. We're going to travel over here to India. Wouldn't mind getting some teleportation options as well. Spectral Sacrifice. Spirits fuel host with negative hope despair, increasing the rate at which it heals in the layers. I don't really care about layer healing once we've dealt with the Templar, so that's not going to be too important for me. Spiritual Boost. Binaural infrasound combined with attachment to trauma causes hypnosis of vampire, increasing the number of souls, increasing the number of specters. I'm not entirely sure what specters means. Is this the creation of a second vampire? Could be. Soul-seeking. Miasma is released from the pores located on shadow versions of the vampire, again with the fascination of pores, bringing forth more diseased souls, increasing the amount of DNA gained from specters. I think that actually has to do with layers. So, what do you mean by increasing the number of specters as far as increasing the number of layers? Because this I get. This makes sense. I don't think there's a limit to how many layers I can get by default, though, is there? I don't think so. Do we want to start going for the Shadow Blessing now? We're going to go ahead and speed things up and pick up the Shadow Blessing. I'm about to go and destroy the last of the Templar. Let's get this disease a-rolling. Hematoma. Severe petechia causes skin capillaries to break, resulting in bleeding under the skin. Purpura can be fatal in extreme cases and is harder to cure. I am mispronouncing all the things, I am pretty sure. Porphyria. Buildup of porphyrins causes excessive heme production. Heme, okay. Resulting in a negative effect on the patient's nervous system and skin, increasing infectivity and immunodeficiency. Dystrophy of lymphocytes transforms host's immune system into a weaker state, harder to cure. Not sure how much that's going to be relevant to me at the moment. Oh, gosh dang it, with you and your stupid... Get your drone nonsense out of here. Oh, I forgot to pick up teleportation. Right. Destroy? Thank you. I don't feel like waiting around. Let's go for the better, travel speed. Just because it's irritating me. Get down here to Indonesia. And destroy. Can we destroy it without having to heal? I think so. No problem, really. Oh, yeah, we're obliterating. Perfect. All right, devour them for a little bit. I'm probably going to go ahead and create another lair in this general vicinity. Maybe we go to the Philippines. It's a good central location. Pretty much everything over here is in range of this. Let's create that lair. Oops. Pop the thing. There we go. Got a lair. Okay. So we're going to go for the teleportation option. So are we spreading the disease simply by standing in a country? The answer to that appears to be yes. Can't click on the Philippines. There we go. Let's go ahead and grab some of these islands so I don't have to worry about it. Get this started. Got it. Go to New Zealand. Okay. Teleport back up to here and go to Japan. Let's take a look at what else we can do. So we have, what is this? Dwarasur's deity. The demon of fever spreads believed incurable diseases, including the Shadow Plague. A combination of the demon gives the Shadow Plague ability to spread easier. I assume this is, if I stand in a country, it spreads faster, which is valuable, but I'm not sure I need it at the moment. Immunodeficiency, I'm looking for anything with really good transmission, so hematoma works fine for me. We can get sexual contact 1. Virus spreads, increases infectivity in urban areas. All right, we'll go for that next. That seems fine. Got you. Then we need to go to things like Korea and China. Get the high population areas infected. Like so, just so we can get a lot of extra DNA. I think India already was infected, apparently. Okay. I need to set up another base over in, let's say, Brazil or Central America. So we're going to travel over this way. And set up a base in Mexico, maybe. I just tend to like having things around the equator. It's a good central location, you know? All right, now let's just devour for a little bit and get free DNA. We need respiratory droplets. More mutation doesn't seem like a bad idea. Vegetation in rural areas folding. Gangrene, wealthy countries. Carcass. Sea and plane transmission sounds like a good thing to me. And I wouldn't mind getting perhaps a little bit of extra infectivity just by existing in the country, so let's pick that up too. So that should greatly increase the speed at which Mexico is getting infected, and the more we can get to critical mass in at least one country, the more likely it's going to start spreading to its neighbors. So I'll sit tight for a little bit and just kind of generate some DNA. Though I wouldn't mind going to places like the United States as well. What else do we have? Plague doctors. Begin to roam the streets in the form of plague givers. Wait. Plague doctors roam the streets in the form of plague givers. Would no one want to associate with a plague giver? They openly cure and calm citizens while spreading the plague to other citizens. How very insidious of them, I suppose. Let's see. Musculoskeletal leeching, sorry. That's pretty infective. I think I wouldn't mind having the extra infectivity in places that are wealthy, like gangrene here seems pretty good. More effective in the cold countries seems nice. Let's go to the United States. Unknown disease has been spotted in Mexico. Yeah, they're getting started with all of that. So sitting here in the USA is definitely increasing my infectivity by a substantial margin. Go ahead and sit here in Canada for a moment. Let's get down to the islands of the Caribbean and stuff so I don't have to worry about them. So do we want to just rely on mutation chance? I'm not really worried about the cure at the moment. What else do we have here? Pallor. Suppressed blood flow gives victims a deathly white appearance, increasing infectivity. What are the words? Acromotrachea. Withered white hair. Sounds terrifying. Progeria. Lethal and increases odds of complications. Okay. Sometimes I think that GD Mitch is doing this just to hear me struggle. I'm trying to pronounce some of these things. They're not simple words, you know. I don't feel like I'm really an idiot. They're not easy. Where'd the lab go? It's in Brazil, okay? We destroy lab in Brazil. Go away. No cure progress for you. Thank you very much. Lab in Brazil has been destroyed. Yep. Okay, so we're just going to sit around here. Bolivia is going to get infected. Argentina needs to get infected. Done deal. Probably should take a tour of Europe. Because, of course, Europe is wealthy, and the more we can infect them and get them all killed, probably the better. Poland, no cures. Get out of here with that nonsense. We got Pallor for free. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm hoping to see. We'll go to Germany and get the infectivity started there. Go to France, get the infectivity started over here. Get to the UK. Started over here. We've got 60 DNA. What do I want to work with here? Transonic Overdrive. Intense Boost. I don't know what that means. Vampiric Awakening. That's the second vampire right there. I don't think we need any of this, to be honest. Maybe Succubus's Gift? Sure, that is going to greatly increase the speed at which I'm infecting a place. By, like, hundreds of thousands per day now. That's good. Let's see. Let's go for the Gangrene, and then there's Gangrene 3. Mutation chance increase and a lot of infectivity. Very good, I assume, in the wealthy countries. Which means we should be able to destroy Europe and their cure progress. Their filthy, filthy cure progress very rapidly. I hope. Ukraine is executing the infected. That seems very rude and unnecessary, but alright. Travel to Sweden, perhaps? There you go. Got you infected. Norway. I don't think we actually infected Iceland. We killed a lot of people there, but we didn't actually infect them. Finland needs to get hit next. What else we got to do? We got sweating for the cold countries. Let's go for immunodeficiency and hypersensitivity to make them things harder to cure. Autoimmune seems pretty good. Pyrexia seems pretty good. Tremor. Sure. And rigor. Stiffness increases, reduces infectivity, or something like that. So where's the cult? Because usually there's a point where you could get a cult and they actually start slowing down cure progress in a lot of different places. By the way, I see you down here in India. Oh, there's a lab right in Mexico hidden under the lair. Oh, that was brilliant. I almost didn't see that. Dead now. Let's see. We're going to go back to Sudan. We're going to go to places like Saudi Arabia. Most of Europe has been very thoroughly infected at this point. Malignant pigmentation. Again, harder to cure. I think I'm going to go for the rigor. Sociopathy. Lowest cure progress seems all right. Egotism. Manipulation of serotonin neurotransmitters causes patient to obsess over the self. Megalomania can trigger feelings of omnipotence. All right, there's the shadow slaves, causing the infected to become slaves of the vampire. I would say that is an absolutely necessary trait for us to pick up at this point. Let's see, what are we missing? I think we're missing things like Madagascar, and there's a bunch of labs set up down over here that I need to deal with now. Okay, let's teleport over to the Philippines, get down to, come on, Australia. Blow it up. Get down to New Zealand. Blow it up. Come on. Thank you. Japan is apparently next on my list. Man, they're actually popping a lot of these labs up. They're trying real hard. Credit where it's due. So Shadow Slaves sound good to me. We can get Eternal Savior. Infected are drawn into salvation and develop thirst for redemption and sin. Severe, those two words together just seems a little bit wrong. Severe increase in dopamine receptors causes desperation beyond infected. That sounds cool. Let's try it. Lust. Hyperfunction of dopamine transporters in the thalamus and other regions causes feelings to fuse into relationships with uninfected. So we feel attached to the uninfected so that we can then proceed to infect them? Is that how it's going to work? I hope so. What's missing, by the way? Morocco, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Well, I think we need to get over there and help with that process. Let's get to Sudan. Go to Morocco. Vampire slaves wage war in Madagascar. Well, I mean, Madagascar has been completely taken over, so I think that civil war is already over. It only took like a week. Let's go for lust that leads to adoration. Surges of testosterone and estrogen in the temporal lobe and ventral areas hijack hosts' emotions and create a desire to spread the infection. Sounds great. Don't think I need it. Can be fatal. It doesn't seem good. Psychosis, mania, catatonia. Catatonia. So like catatonic state. Got it. Let's go to Zimbabwe was left. I knew there was something over here. All right, so every country has been infected at this point. It's just a matter of actually speeding the process up. So let's go to Botswana, help get critical mass there. Let's go to Angola, help get critical mass over here. Let's travel up to Iran. Let's see, I assume you're about, yeah, you're about hit critical mass there. Iran's doomed. There we go. Go to Iraq, and that's going to leave only Ukraine. Ukraine had the right idea, it turns out, by executing all of the infected before it was too late. Alas, it mattered not. So is there anything else that I need to be picking up to get a little bit of extra score? I don't think there's anything useful over there. I guess we'll go for anything that can slow down the cure, technically. Narcissism. Possessive nature to others. Cool. Devotion. Sure. Aggression. Malignant pigmentation. Immune suppression. Significantly harder to cure. Natural healing symptom combo. We finally found one. I was kind of expecting to run into more of these combos. Extreme paranoia and skin pigmentation when exposed to sunlight has caused infected to cut all contact with the sun. Healing damage done to infected harder to cure. That sounds good. All right, we've enslaved the entire world. That was easy. There we go. Making sure that a victory screen pops up. 1 star? Yeah, I guess it did take a while. 886 days. Again, if you want to get a really good score on the Shadow Plague, the trick is just to sit there and generate 800 DNA before you trigger anything else. But all right, yeah, 22% cure procs, 28,391 points. It's pretty good. I'm trying to think where it differs strongly mechanics-wise from the base Shadow Plague. It definitely has a lot of customization, there's no doubt about that, as is often the case with GD Mitch. He usually does a lot of his research and really puts in a lot of effort to come up with good descriptions, especially ones with long, complicated medical-sounding names just to confuse me. But outside of that, it follows kind of the same strategy as usual. Get the Templar out of here, go for a lot of Blood Rage to get those DNA, and it kind of followed the same sort of path along the symptoms as I would normally expect. So I don't want to call it a reskin, because I do think things got reworked a little bit. Play-wise, it's very, very similar. Would I say that it's a vast improvement over the base Shadow Plague? Not necessarily. I think the base Shadow Plague was a little bit simpler and easier to follow, and that was kind of an advantage in a way. But I definitely can't deny that a lot of effort went into the descriptions of this scenario, and there's a lot of customization involved. Kind of wish I had found more of those combos, because I think that could have been fun. Overall, I think it's good. I think it's very well done. So I'm going to absolutely recommend it to other people. Thank you, GD Mitch, for sending it my way. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.